welcome back to Pixels and Pints. Joining me tonight, we have Dan.
Hi.
And Tom.
Hello.
And I'm Pete. And we're going to do something a little different. It'll be same, but different. We're going to do a bit of a themed episode.
I was about to say I wasn't, what? I wasn't told this. And then I remembered I was. Okay.
Kind of, sort of.
I read the script.
But not really.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. So we've got a blood harvester's forest fucking moon.
It's a super blood moon tonight.
Super blood moon.
It was still white when I looked last.
Yeah. It starts at between 9 and 9:30
There we go.
tonight.
Cool.
So
we thought.
Shadow of the Earth.
Oh yeah, there was a
covers
lunar
the moon.
eclipse or something.
That's very funny. Do you know what album I was listening to this morning on my walk with the dog? Shadows of the Empire.
I
That's
say Dark Side of the Moon.
No.
So we thought we'd do a bit of a themed episode. It's not going to be 100% of the content tonight, but we'll talk about some horror, monster, zombie stuff.
And the beers are now a bit themed.
Although after Dan suggested that, I thought it's a full moon. Shouldn't we just be talking about werewolves? But I guess we'll just go with the theme because I don't know that we could get a whole podcast episode out of werewolves or more than one, maybe two topics.
What about werebears?
There's tons of werewolf
Just were
movies.
people.
Yeah.
Were people.
Oh shit! Sorry.
I would like to start with a topic.
Go for it.
This is a fun topic for me. This is a topic of vindication, Peter.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Oh, Peter. Would you like to tell the lovely people what you thought of the final episode of Captain?
I wondered where he was going there. Do you want to pull that? Well,
Oh, yes, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, Peter. What happened in the final episode for you? Please tell the people.
It got good.
No, can we use your exact wording, please?
I don't remember my exact wording.
It made the entire series for me. It put everything together.
It's not so much that it put everything together, but it made the series worth watching.
Vindy-fucking-cated.
I'm trying to find the text, but I don't
have
know.
to go so far
It'll
back.
take too long. But yes, the final episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier did the series justice. It really did.
I still haven't started.
Do you mind if I spoil it?
Yeah, I do.
Well, shit.
That's a first.
I've got nothing to say. No, it was.
If it's that good, then it ties the season together. Yes, I do mind if you spoil it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Just hurry the fuck up and watch it. No, it was really good.
Do you want me to leave for 2 minutes?
No, don't be silly. No, it was very, very good. If you haven't seen it, you have 2 weeks, podcast listeners and watchers. Thank you, because I'm totally going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it next time we record.
Well, that recording's without me because I'm not going to watch it in 2 weeks.
2 weeks? How many episodes? Oh, you haven't even started, have you?
No.
That's a 6 hour. That's less than 6
haven't
hours.
Finished One Division, haven't started it, and we just started a new season.
Fuck's
series.
sake.
So.
Fuck's sake.
We've just cracked our first beer of the night. I'm going to get right into this. You're not pressing the marker anymore? Okay.
No.
This is
All right.
from... Yes, press the marker. I love the marker. Mismatch Brewing down in South Australia. This is their strawberry sour. It's 3%. It has 3 strawberries out of 5 on the strawberry scale, and 3 lemons out of 5 on the sour scale. So
Yeah, I'd probably call that. That probably sounds like a
Spot on.
fair scale.
it's
Yeah,
also
to me.
the can color is slightly purpley pink. It's a bit Thanos colored, and it's balanced, as all things should be.
I see what you did there.
I seriously thought when you put that in your other hand, you were going to try and balance it on the one finger.
I thought about it. No, because it's probably still got some beer in it, and I'll spill it on.
And we like all our electronic gear
Yep.
sour beer free.
Fair enough. It's nice. It's got a good round sourness to it, and I'm really funny with strawberry and beers because it either tastes really artificial or just really watery and shit. But that's nice. It's just the strawberry comes through at the end.
It's sulfury on the nose.
Sure.
It's a bit farty.
I didn't get a huge amount of aroma to it when I first, and I mean there still isn't now, but there's a fair bit of strawberry flavour to it.
No, there is plenty of strawberry flavour. It's a good middle of the road kettle sour in terms of tartness.
Yes.
It's not mouth puckering, but it's definitely sour.
Yeah, that's why I think their 3 and 3 goes
Perfectly.
pretty bang on.
Yeah. Once again, I think I've said this before, I cannot see a Mismatch Brewing logo without seeing modus operandi. I have no idea why.
It's the same design on the M.
It's the Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
helmet
it is.
visor.
Yeah.
That's all I see. Especially on their red. They've done a red one on a black can before, and
They're the Evil Archies, the red IPA.
is that what it is? Is it? Yeah, and all I see is dread.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes. So rounding off that last topic, Falcon Winter Soldier, excellent. Exactly what I was not expecting, but kind of secretly hoping for. Bit predictable and a bit speechy at the end.
Oh, I'm just happy because you wrote that because you'd spent last 2 or 3 episodes giving it shit. So, you turned around and...
Yeah, we even
No,
named...
I won.
We even
Point is
named...
I won. Point is I won. Let me have this
Fine.
one. Let me have this.
No, I gave it to you. It's all good. You can have it.
That's
Still
all.
could have done without the sister and the boat.
That's fine. Boats are cool. But yes, that's all I want to talk about on that. We can go straight into whatever topics you guys have for this Super Blood Moon.
Did you end up watching Army of the Dead today?
No, I didn't have time. I didn't have time.
Well,
We had a late delivery. Oh, you can talk about it. I don't mind if that's spoiled. Looks
No, I won't.
Is that the
spoil
new?
it, but
Is that a TV series
the
on
Netflix. No, it's a movie.
It's a movie. I thought it was a TV
Yeah.
series.
no. Okay, so it's a movie, and so done by Zack Snyder. But it's the first in his new zombie world. So it's not a continuation of Dawn of the Dead.
Yep.
So it's the first one that sets up a new mythos in that zombie universe, and then
They're faster and they're smarter and
basically.
We keep watching the ads every time we put anything from Netflix on. It's advertised, and I keep saying to the missus, "We need to watch this." But I thought it was a TV series, so the only reason I haven't seen it is I thought it was a major time commitment, and we're in the middle of 3 other things.
No, so it's a 2.5 hour movie, so it is a decently chunked time commitment.
Sure.
One of the characters in it, I found out today, is directing the prequel that's coming out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
So that's called Army of Thieves,
Yeah, right.
something along those lines, in the same universe. And then there's a short animated. It must run side by side with some of the stories that happened pre this movie or during this movie, because they said that the cast is returning to voice act.
Okay.
And a lot of them die. So
Right.
spoiler. But
I mean,
it
it's a
happens.
zombie
It happens in
film.
a zombie movie.
Yeah.
But there's going to be another film after this as a sequel. So the middle, prequel, and sequel, as far as I understand, that's the way they're going to run it.
He's gone the George Lucas route.
Yeah, well, kind of. But there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of things that they don't address in it, and if you're not paying attention, you miss.
Right.
But they're fucking major things, like enormously major things, like.
So it's not one of those ones you can just sit there and if you get kind of bored, you start looking on your phone for something.
Absolutely not.
Can't IMDb someone halfway through
You
it.
will completely miss it because at one point one of the zombies gets shot and a different color comes out of his head, and you kind of go, "What the fuck was that?" And then you watch the rest of the movie waiting for them to explain what that was, and it doesn't get acknowledged, doesn't get addressed, and it was a second of screen time, and it'll play through to the sequels and prequels.
Presumably.
No, it will. Zack Snyder's addressed.
Okay.
So, he's been asked, and
What the
Answered.
fuck was that? And
what the fuck was that?
Right.
And
Did you just run out of red squib packs?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, had a green one lying around.
Yeah.
I thought I'd get captured in the green screen.
And there's some other bits and pieces that happen during conversations that I didn't actually realize until I was listening to the Weekly Planet that was going to be more.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Cool.
A
I
wider.
definitely will watch that one.
Has the world already ended in it?
Do you want me to spoil that part too? I mean, you find out in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
It looks like from the trailers, it looks like the zombie apocalypse has already happened and they're living in it. It's not a
It looked like they just
origin
caged
story.
Didn't they just caged it in Vegas?
Yeah. So it happens.
right.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't. I'm pretty sure
So
that's.
it's actually just a movie about STIs.
Yeah. Well, in a way.
We could go into the mythos of vampirism being no.
I'm assuming that's like they had that in mind when they said it in Vegas because of that saying.
Definitely. It's
So
very,
yeah.
it's
they box it and contain it in Vegas.
Yeah,
So the
right.
rest of the world has moved is as per normal, and
it did kind of look a bit game showy, like this is a reality TV series where people go in, and I think that was actually in the advertisement for it.
If it was a complete misdirect because that's nothing to do with it.
It felt a bit. It felt they were in there to.
I think
they were in there for
I know
a
what you're talking
reason.
about. I think that it seemed like the trailer was maybe a bit like Suicide Squad-y, where it's like it's a bit like hypercolors and.
No, I got the impression there was a squad or a group of people that had voluntarily gone into zombie Vegas to rob something.
Zagus. Can
It
we call
was
it
to
Zagus?
rob a casino.
Zagus. Let's go with Zagus.
Yeah, so that's the premise of the movie.
Yeah, okay.
Is they go in to rob because
casino.
money still has a monetary value.
Yeah,
Well, if
the rest of the world's carrying on.
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah.
And that's how they justify that part of it.
Cool.
No, very interesting. I really enjoyed it. There was some plot holes and some silly Hollywood movie things.
Again, it's a
in
zombie
it.
film set in Vegas. Like, what do you? Yeah.
And sometimes they didn't quite play into completely over the top stuff. But the zombies were cool. Like they had some really the makeup artists were great. Louise actually looked up. We were quite confused. We're not confused. We were interested in the characters playing the lead zombies. If I say that in quotation marks.
Yep.
Because they moved really well, and so she did a little bit of reading while it was sort of in the intro part of it.
While she was missing important plot points.
No, the important plot points were much further on.
Right.
But she found out that he cast stunt people in those roles to give them kind of a bit of a breakthrough into an actual acting role rather than a stunt role. And this is why they moved so well in the roles that they had, and none of it looked fake or
doubled.
Some of it didn't even, or definitely not doubled, yeah. And some of it didn't even look like wire work. They just moved really, really well in what they were made to do within it. And so,
Yeah, cool.
So especially the lead female zombie and the two lead male zombies, because the lead female zombie, you see her in the first.
You see in the trailer.
I do.
She's like almost looks like some sort of
Showgirl.
Gaelic, or like witch kind of.
Yeah, so when she's zombified, that's what she looks like.
Yeah,
but
she looks like a Gaelic witch. She was like something old. Yeah,
because all her Vegas dress is all tattered up and destroyed and everything. So yeah, she does look like a Celtic witch kind of thing. But she's obviously a stunt woman and I said to Louise, I think that's why she Googled it. She moves like a dancer.
Yeah, okay.
So they had that really well, but she moves like a zombified
Dancer.
But not dancing, just the fluid of the movement that she does. So it was, and the guys are the big hulking guys that move around. So yeah, I liked it. The whole idea of the hierarchy and the slower, dumber zombies and hibernation and what happens.
We all
in the
know
weather of
somebody
Vegas.
that would be a slower, dumber zombie.
Yeah, but there's a reason for it in this.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's some really tense moments. There's some good action scenes. There's some really funny bits. It's clever. I liked it. I really liked it. You could definitely see the continuation. I know it's not, but his evolution from what he did in Dawn of the Dead to this.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, I'm going to just steal a segue to talk about something very quickly. I don't have a lot of content on, but you mentioned the Celts and the Gaels. Is that what you call Gaelic people? Gaels? I think they are called
Gauls.
Gauls. Okay. They've released AC Valhalla Wrath of the Druids. So
I did see that. Yeah,
the first major expansion to
I've heard
Valhalla.
it's pretty good actually.
Yeah, I spent about an hour, but I was very, very fucking drunk. So there was a lot of walking. I remember some walking, and I remember shooting some arrows. And you have to. I'm one of those guys that will. I know that you can only attempt a task once. So if I fail, I'll just reload the fucking save game. I know that'd probably make a bunch of people cringe, but
What do you mean you can only attempt a task once?
Well, so like in a
you're doing a quest. If you fail it, you fail it.
Yeah, so quest dialogue. So the example, and I was fucking polluted at the time, but in the quest they say, "Oh, I'm going to give you this bow," and then they say, "Oh, show us how you do it. Like, show us what you're made of," and you have to shoot the 6 targets 3 or 4 times each in 30 seconds. And I failed it twice in a row and just kept reloading until I got it. And I'm sure it makes absolutely no fucking difference to the quest. I'm 100% certain it doesn't. But I'm like, nah, I can't progress until I've completed this task.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I mean, it's cool. And I'm already omnipotent, essentially. I've got all the best shit in the game because I did get platinum. So I'm probably enjoying it more because, you know, when you go for a platinum trophy in a video game, you tend to finally get to omnipotence at the very end when you hit platinum, and then there's no more content in the game to actually walk around as a god and just smash the shit out of stuff. So it's cool when they release expansions where you're already at that level.
Is it set in a new area?
In Ireland, hence the reference to the Gauss. So it's set in Ireland in the 9th century while the Vikings are invading or have invaded and have started to kind of seep into culture. So it's going to be interesting to see the difference in the meld between English culture, where the Saxons are essentially, and the Nords, versus the Gaelic people and the Nords. So I'm interested. Plus, I'm dating someone who's Irish, so I can have a conversation with her about some of the history.
Have you been there? Have you seen that?
Well, they do a pretty bang up job. AC always have of A, kind of setting a fake story in a real world or a real history, and B, certainly their representation of the land as it was back then is usually spot on. So
there we go.
Yeah.
This actually leads perfectly into a question I saw.
Look at us, just rolling.
Segway City. And not Seattle, where they all ride Segways. So this is a question I saw on...
You're doing so well.
I tell you what, I've had a cracker. I saw this on the trophy hunting group I'm part of on Facebook.
Trophy hunting group.
Usually that would have been frowned upon, but I know you're talking about video game trophies as opposed to those fuckwits on Facebook who post photos of killing animals.
No. Definitely talking about PlayStation trophies. So the question was, and this is probably primarily aimed at Peter, being the expert on this particular subject. So
I definitely do not
wrong?
trophy hunt.
This is about trophy. This is about Assassins. This is about Assassin's Creed. So the question is...
The only thing I'm an expert in is getting facts wrong.
Good. So you'll probably get this one then. No. The question was, what would be the outcome of an original pre-Origin style assassin going up against a post-Origin style warrior assassin? Who would win and why?
In my humble opinion, which is never fucking humble, as you guys know, a pre-Origins era assassin would absolutely destroy them. Why? Because the warrior fucking assassin would be stomping around with his spear in his hand or his broken spear in his hand, and he'd never see the assassin drop off the roof and fucking double stab him.
Well, that answers that. Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to fucking work out what's what. You're talking timelines of games as in pre Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm thinking of timelines within the game. I'm going,
wait,
hold on a minute.
They never cross paths.
Versus the Viking? What? No. So it was,
no, I know they don't cross paths.
So yeah, it was the, what was it?
Ezio.
Well, Black Flag was probably the last pre-warrior one. Because Origins is where they're talking about. Origins is the one set in Egypt.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you've got Odyssey after that, and now you've got Valhalla. So they're the three games that sit in the post-era.
Let's look at the stats.
Black Flag was the last one before Origins.
The French one?
Unity. It would have.
yeah.
No, there was one more, which is at the very top left, which is
Syndicate.
Syndicate. Yeah. And even to be honest, Syndicate was kind of a mid-step between the old school and the new school, anyway. So the key difference is old school, hide amongst crowds, hire courtesans, walk through guard posts invisibly, and then fucking assassinate somebody in a crowd and then disappear again. Drop a smoke bomb, run away, go and hide around the corner on a chair.
That was the biggest thing that I missed in those, especially from Origins onwards. But it even started to drift out towards the later Ezio ones, where your target was in a crowded area, and you could literally walk through. If you could get close enough without the guards, you could walk up to him stealthily, and the animations were fantastic. Where he put the hand on
the little hand thing in the first one, where you just went, bye bye.
Well, that. But he'd walk up to the target, and if you hit the assassinate button right at the right point, he'd like put his hand on their back,
jab him,
kill him, and then you could literally keep walking before the body fell.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you would just walk off, and you would just weave your way through. But as the alarm would go off when you were already 30 meters from the dead body.
Yeah.
I've got to say the latest game, so Valhalla, they've started to add. They're not nearly what they haven't gotten back to a point where they were pre-Origins, but they're getting there. So you can now hide in amongst a crowd of monks who tend to do laps around the church grounds, and you can kind of jump in amongst them and walk past guard posts. The difference is you can't kill anyone because as soon as you do anything at all other than walk with the monks, it breaks your cover and obviously all the guards come and attack you instantly. So
Yeah, right.
it's not quite at the point of where it used to be. But you could also make the argument that Origins and the whole point of Origins was there were no assassins at that point. You were hearing or playing the origin story of the Assassin's Creed. Odyssey was kind of a continuation, but by the end of Odyssey, you hear about the assassins. But the end of the Odyssey game, you're not an assassin because assassins hadn't come to where you were.
I think you're putting way too much thought into what these guys thought about game mechanics.
Not at all. They called the game Origins.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think that they took that mechanic out for that specific
I
reason.
don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
There were no hidden blades in Origins.
Yeah.
So there were. Was there even hidden blades in
Yes,
Odyssey?
there was.
No,
Yeah.
Odyssey didn't. You had the spear. You used the spear.
You
to
had
assassinate.
Leonardus' spear in Odyssey.
I fucking platinum that game. I know everything about that game.
He doesn't have his
He doesn't have a hidden blade.
In what? Odyssey?
in Odyssey at the top.
Yeah, they're not in the Odyssey because he had the spear, but Origins there was.
I don't think there was, man.
There was.
It's right there.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
There was because he
Where
goes
the fuck
through
does
the
it
whole
come from?
He goes through the whole thing with his wife about cutting the finger off.
Yeah, that's right.
I haven't played Origins.
Yeah, maybe I am overthinking it, but that was how I interpreted it.
I mean, Odyssey wasn't really an Assassin's Creed game. It was a
That was the
Greek simulator.
Yeah.
and that was the complaint for those two games. I think, and the commentary, the general critique coming back around Valhalla is it is starting to return back to its roots and what made it good.
Which I've heard from a lot of people.
Yeah.
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 I've had that question sitting in there in my notes for like
But yeah,
2 or
totally,
3, like maybe a month, like the last 2-3 recordings, and I've been like, I'm just waiting, and this was the perfect little thing.
totally pre-Origins
Deleting it.
would destroy him,
Altair would take him out completely.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
as would Ezio.
Yeah. I still don't like that guy.
I know you don't, and you don't like Desmond Miles, and you don't like you just
I didn't like Desmond
just
Miles.
a purist.
Yeah. I just like Altair.
Yes, there we go.
Cool.
The I don't know if I talked to you guys about it. The Biomutant game. Did you guys remember hearing about that one?
Yeah. I've been following it for ages.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
released
Yeah.
today.
Yep.
It's
I know nothing about it.
It's the one where you're like
I'm thirsty though.
the little mouse. Well, we got 8 minutes.
Oh.
I'm gonna smash and 10% imp stout, and
We should be
Is that what
finishing
that
with
one is?
yeah.
Oh,
we should be
okay. Fair
finishing
enough.
with that.
we definitely will. It's so it's set post-apocalyptic. All the humans are gone. You play as a little bipedal like mouse or raccoon or
As
whatever.
a biomutant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's it's a small development team,
Okay.
which I think is really cool. I was fair few reviews have been pandering it, saying it's shot the moon and missed a bit.
Okay.
But
But that whole metaphor is shoot for the moon or aim for the moon and hit the sky, or aim for the stars and hit the moon. Anyway, carry
I
on.
don't know.
I just think that metaphor is like aim higher than you're ever going to reach, and you'll still reach pretty damn high.
Yeah, they just apparently feels like they've clustered too many great ideas, and they've tried to cluster together but never focused on them.
So many games.
Jack of all trades.
So
There
many
we go.
games
Jack
are
of all
like
trades,
that.
master of none. But
Because there's kung fu or kung fu melee weapons in sort of kung fu style. There's guns. There's psi powers. There's mechs. There's mutated mounts.
gliders.
Gliders.
Boats,
So it's
everything.
kind of
Yeah.
like a lot of things mashed in there.
Yeah, right.
But I was looking at some screenshots today,
Complicated
and it looks
mechanics.
fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it
though.
does look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's released. It's a PS5 game. It's an all platform
It's a
game.
PS4.
PS4.
Okay. PS4.
They started development on it years ago.
Yeah, it's taken
probably
4
years
yeah,
ago.
4 or 5 years for it to release.
Yeah, right. Okay.
This is a small team. They announced it years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
Did you ever get your Hero Quest? Sorry, carry on.
Hmm?
That's what you're talking about years and years ago.
Yeah, no, fuck those guns.
No, we're letting one C
Oh,
bomb
yeah,
through.
okay, that's the one. That's our quota.
So I don't know if we ever spoke about it back in the old days, but yeah, Dan put a pre-order deposit.
We'll finish this
Yeah,
and we'll
sorry,
go into
carry
that
on.
story.
Oh no, it's just I'm excited for it. It's probably going to be the game I play next once I finish Amalur.
Cool.
Yeah, I was tossing up between that and starting Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but they're both big open world games, and I'm still.
Did you get Republic Commando yet?
No, I'm going to play that on PC, I think. But I'm finishing off Fenyx, just because I'm still really enjoying that. Because
it's a good game.
Each area you get to, even though the main quest is still the main finding the essence of the god of that area, each one was done differently.
Yeah,
and it's got its own, like you were saying originally, its own theme to the area. Each god changed is by Typhon is changed differently. They're not just carbon copies of each other.
Yeah.
And so I'm still finding it really interesting. So I've just finished at Phaistos and I'm going to Olympus. So I don't think I'm too far from...
No, you're right near the end, yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to play that game too.
Yeah, it's
You've
fun.
got it.
What do you mean I've got it?
You've got my copy.
Oh,
There you go.
cool. It's on the shelf somewhere then.
And
So as soon as I finish Wrath of the Druids, then I'll play that.
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah, because the two DLCs are out for that.
one of them's a completely different game. It's like a top-down...
That's the one coming. So the first
coming,
first
yeah.
DLC is like you do more like the puzzle. It's the Trials of the Gods.
Yeah,
So it's all a bunch of puzzles. But then the second one is all set in
China.
Chinese mythology. It's just essentially like a reskin of it, from what I understand. But a whole new story. And then the last one is like a dungeon crawler.
Yeah, top-down sort of
Which is
Diablo
cool.
style.
Unusual.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'll look into it for sure.
Hero Quest.
Hero
Oh,
Quest.
yeah, Heroes
that'll,
Quest.
that'll take us into the break. 'Cause
Yeah.
we've got 3 minutes.
Okay, so the 25th anniversary. Oh God, what was this? That must have been
10
10 years
yeah,
ago.
it'd
probably?
be a decade ago, I reckon.
So the 25th anniversary of the original Heroes Quest game came up. So these guys got the rights to make a 25th anniversary, and then did this whole
Kickstarter?
Kickstarter. They
Yep.
started on Kickstarter, and then they got moved off Kickstarter onto, which should have been a red flag to start with, onto whatever the Italian version is.
Okay.
I could probably go through all of my old emails and find it because they're still flagged in my Hotmail account in case I ever get my copy. And it was $100. It was $120. It was $120 Aussie to get the 25th anniversary game. And then it went on, and they actually started to print miniatures and everything. So they actually got to making the game, and then all of a sudden, just gone, just disappeared. So whether they ever finished it or whether they only distributed it in Europe and they weren't sending it overseas.
See, Kickstarter, they don't charge you until they've hit funding and are off making the game. Now, you can still lose your money on Kickstarter because if they hit the funding target and then go bankrupt or just disappear, then they take your money. But, if you're the only guy to back something and it never gets enough backers to go live, then they never charge you.
Yeah, so this hit its cap.
Yep.
And then they introduced new ones, but they always had new ones. So they had all the base
All the
games,
stretch targets.
Yeah, so they had all the base game stuff with the original expansions redone.
Yep.
All there, and it all looks great. All their character models, the board looked great. All their updated cards and everything. So all that was there. All the original base stuff that was there, and then they had the stretch goals, which were some new stuff that they'd created.
Yeah, okay.
And they had 2 or 3 of those that they were going to, if they could, they would then put the money into that. And they hit their base goal within like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
There was enough people around the world that wanted a new version of it because the old one's out of print. And
Yeah.
the old copies cost heaps to buy, apparently. I've still got my old one. And and then they got moved off Kickstarter onto the Italian one because they were from Italy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which made sense. They were going with the Italian one. And then, they were going through a legit miniature creation site, like game miniatures or something. They make Warhammer something or something. And,
How long ago was this?
oh, it's got to be 10 years.
Yeah, right.
We've got about 30 seconds, so talk quick.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my Kingdom Death Monster
Yeah, I remember you
miniatures.
did that.
But that's 5 years old now, but they
Yeah.
have delivered, I think, 3 out of the 6 or 7 that
Yeah.
I ordered. So they just keep delaying due to, COVID fucked everything, right? So
That's why I was asking how long ago it was. Because
no.
whether
10
it was
years
a-
ago.
yeah.
He's never getting it.
I'll delve into my my old Hotmail account and see what I can dig up before next time.
And on that note, we're just going to take a quick break. And we're back. Start us with the topic, Dan,
Oh,
please. No, caught you by surprise?
yep. Okay, we'll keep going. Well, so I actually thought one of the things that came to mind when I was talking about this, the Super Blood Moon and doing the horror stuff, was I find it interesting that we're getting 3 movies. So a lot of the movies that are coming out at the moment are either artsy movies or horror movies at the cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting any big blockbusters or anything like that because nobody's going. So we're actually getting 3 sequels of horror movies that are out now.
Okay.
I think Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Apparently we get it on Netflix as well at the same time.
I need to watch the first one.
It's good. Spiral, which is Chris Rock produced and directed Saw sequel.
Okay.
And
Is it a sequel? Oh, yeah, because it's a copycat.
Yeah.
They talk about it in the trailer.
Yeah. I actually I've stayed away from the trailers. And The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which is like the 5th movie in The Conjuring.
I really, really enjoyed the Conjuring series of films until the Nun one.
I still have only seen... Actually, I think I've only seen The Conjuring. No, I've seen The Conjuring and Conjuring 2. I haven't seen either of the Annabelles or the Nun.
The Annabelles were good as the Conjuring twins. I mean, look, the first movie is always going to be the groundbreaker, right?
Yeah.
So it's always going to stand out as the best. But yeah, the Nun was the 5th, and it's not like they're in the same. I think the Conjuring and Annabelle were in the same universe. I don't know. I don't remember if the Nun was too. I think it was.
Well, the Nun's in The Conjuring too.
That's right, of course, yeah. And the Nun just didn't hit the mark for me at all. It was just not.
I've seen some clips.
I've
never really been one for the horror films.
I really like that.
All right. You might. let's talk about this beer.
So this is from Batch. So we ran a homebrew comp a month or 2 ago. So anyone could enter as long as they brewed their beer on a legit homebrew setup. So none of the no sneaky brewers could get in with their
15-minute lead into naming the beer.
Yes, Peter, it is the 15-minute lead in. Now it's going to be 17 minutes because you interrupted. No. So it was just, I was giving the backstory.
Go. Keep going.
So I think they ended up having 30 entries and they got it down to 3. And then those guys got to brew their beer on the small batch kit. So
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. And they kegged it and canned it. And so people could take the cans home and buy it. So the one we are drinking now is Greg's Pumpkin Pie Porter. Then it just says the homebrew competition winner. The other ones we had Gus's Robust Brown Ale, which was a 6.8% brown.
Ooh.
And then Ewan's Grodzisky, which is a very polarizing beer for a lot of people.
What's the style?
The Grod is I just call it the Grod. Or it's a grisette, so table beer.
Okay.
But using smoked malt, and then it's quite herbal. And the smoked malt really kind of screws with people's palates. The amount of people I have in who, unless you're looking for something really weird and you like really love, especially if you really love like saison style beers, they're the people who seem to drink it. But I had some guys in at Small Batch the other night who tried it, and it's the first time I've seen anyone put a batch beer to their lips and literally do like the fountain spit out and just go, what the fuck is that? And I was like, man, I said you could have a taste. And then he was just like, no, I just want a really hazy IPA. I was like, well, why'd you pick the 3.8% weird sounding beer?
Yeah.
Like, you're
is
an
it a
idiot.
dark beer, like in color?
No. It's
I would have thought the smoke malt would have.
straw colored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smoke malt's not dark. It's got a slight orangey brownness to it, but it's not dark at all.
Yeah.
Because the smoke doesn't impart color. It's just the smoke.
Yeah, okay. This is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's great.
Greg is a very established brewer. Greg's actually won the homebrew comp in Uncle Hops 1 year.
Yeah, okay.
He's just started producing his cans called Mitchell Brewing Co.
Okay.
MBC.
Can you pass me the can, please?
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a good level. The spice in pumpkin beers can get out of control if people go too hard on it.
Yeah.
And they just...
No, this is nicely balanced for that.
And some of the spice can make it... I don't know how it does it, but if you overdo the spice, it can actually make it feel like really thin and watery. Like that could do with a little bit more body. But I think that the flavor profile's absolutely nailed it. Like the spice level's really nice.
And you do get the pumpkin twang.
Yeah, there's a little the pumpkin back palate's nice and soft to it, and
but it's still got a solid porter base.
Yeah,
so you still
really
get
good use of
all
malt.
of the dark malt
Yep.
characters. So you get the coffee. There's no chocolate that I could detect, but
Yeah, really good malt usage. I like it. I think it's really good.
Yeah. Nah,
Which shows by me not having much left in the glass.
Greg's a very talented brewer. I can wait to see where he goes with his stuff. But
yeah.
When I used to go to the local tap house a lot, because they used to get the pumpkin beers in there, and they were about the only people that used to import pumpkin beers. And one of the guys there knew that I'd be in every couple of weeks. And that's a long way for me to go. And we'd go because we'd go in for Ale Stars when Doc was running Ale Stars. And he'd always squirrel away a couple of bottles of whatever the pumpkin beer one that they had in at the time when they came through for me. Yeah, got some really good ones.
I'm impressed. So Quiet Place 2, I watched Quiet Place 1. I think the girlfriend and I got home really late one night. I was half cut and she was, what's the word I'm looking for? She had too much energy. She gets squirmy. She can't sleep when she's...
Hyperactive.
Yeah. She gets... So we put something on to help her settle, and she said, "Oh, Quiet Place," and I'm like, I didn't know it was a horror film. I had no fucking idea what it was.
Yeah, it's a monster movie.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
And I love Krasinski.
Krasinski? John
Krasinski. I've loved him since The Office.
So he directed it.
Yeah.
Wrote it and directed it. Yeah. And acted in it.
Yeah. Same. I mean,
good old Boston boy.
He was great he was great in the Jack Ryan series. So yeah. No, it was a brilliant movie.
And
so
hopefully one day make a great Mr. Fantastic.
You'd see Emily Blunt's got the shits with everybody asking her about that.
So speaking of sequels, I watched It Chapter 2 for the second I think it was the second time.
Because you've talked about it on here before.
Have I?
Yes.
Oh, well, then I won't talk about it again.
I've probably told this story as well, but the first time I watched the remake of It was when I was doing my collab brew with Two Birds, and I was down in Melbourne by myself, and I'd got back to the room I was staying in, like the apartment, and I was well cut, and I decided, this is the perfect time to watch this.
I do remember you saying.
And I just remember laughing at it, and then when I watched It 2, it was just like, it brought back that memory, and I kind of halfway laughed through It 2 as well. I was like, this should be jump scaring me. It was great.
It's a really good movie, and I had it in my head, and the hard part for me is watching the ending of It Chapter 2 and not seeing Beetlejuice.
Which kind of adds to
Beetlejuice.
When he turns into the monster at the end.
Yeah, sure. And the end of Beetlejuice as well.
Yeah.
And Michael Keaton's face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or the animatronic Michael Keaton face.
Yeah. I just can't get away from that image in my head when I'm watching it. But it's good, and it ties it well back into the science fiction baseline that is Stephen King. And I said that in the chat today. I've always found it interesting that Stephen King's pegged as a horror writer, but basically everything he's ever written has actually been science fiction. So all of these horrible
sci-fi horror.
All of these horrible creatures, aliens, but all of these horrible creatures come from an alternate dimension, and it is very science fiction-y.
Yeah, well, it's very Lovecrafty.
Yeah. And then
because it or Pennywise or whatever they refer to him as in the end is an alien.
Yeah.
And the giant turtle,
Who
which
crashed.
is his nemesis, is I forget what his name is.
I've got no idea what you're talking about. I haven't read many of the books.
So they're the polar opposites. So the It character is the evil side, and the giant space turtle is the good side.
Okay.
I have never read It, so I'm only going on like cliff notes here.
Yeah, right.
But that's the basis of it.
And then an absolutely disappointing movie to tie everything back together was Dark Tower.
The Dark Tower, yeah.
Which
was a great book series.
Yes, which is his absolute magnum opus.
Yeah.
And is
it's good.
But he hates
and
himself
the comic's
for it.
great too. Did you ever read the graphic novel?
No, I haven't actually. I probably should.
I've got them. I'll give them to you.
I'm reading a lot on Comixology at the moment, so I'll load it up on Comixology.
I
Sit in a bed with the iPad and just flick through.
I only got like 4 or 5 chapters into Dark Tower and then got distracted by something, probably real life.
It is a commitment.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
7 or
loved
8 books.
I
But
think
you know how much I read. Like I'm not scared of a commitment to that.
I think
Once you've read
I
Wheel
got
of
to book
Time-
4. I think I got book 4.
Once you've read Wheel of Time from start to finish, that's
It's a
13
lot of books, isn't it?
800 to 1200 page books. Everything else is just small.
I don't know if I've told you this before, but my mum used to. Me and my brother used to read fantasy novels growing up. Definitely more than I do now, and I kind of miss it. But Mum used to have this really bad habit of every other Christmas she'd get us a book from a fantasy series, so she'd see the title but wouldn't know the book number. And the amount of times she bought like my brother or me, like we had this running joke going for years that she would always get us the Wheel of Time, like 2 books from where we were or 2 books from where we'd
before
been.
or after.
Yeah, she was always 2 in front or behind.
Have you read the series though?
I think I started 1. I think I got through 2, maybe 3, because they were Chris's, my older brother. They were his books, so I borrowed them off him. But I think I did the first 3, and then
it's still one of my favorite, all-time favorite series of books. It's a huge commitment. I've read, I think, the first half or 3/4 of the series twice, and I've read the whole series once.
See, I went more for the David and Lee Eddings books, the Belagriad.
Yep.
Those ones.
Yeah.
I fucking
Haven't
love those
read them,
books.
but-
I read them like repeatedly. I fucking loved it. I thought it was such a cool way of using magic.
You do remind me of just in terms of your mum buying books in the wrong order. You reminded me of when I was a kid. I was probably 11 or 12, so just kind of hitting puberty. And mum bought me a novel they were selling novels in Woolworths in big bins of books.
Yeah,
and
I remember these two.
She bought me the Cocoon book.
Okay.
Because we'd seen the Cocoon movie and it was PG. The book was not.
That was like,
There were some seriously graphic sex scenes in that. And as a 12-year-old, I thoroughly enjoyed reading them.
That was like one of the Bond novels. My dad had one of the Bond novels. I remember reading the start of it. I was like, this is fucking pornographic. This is great.
Come here and shark me, Monday, Paddy. Yes. So anyway, that was a random segue.
With the Dark Tower stuff, because we watched The Stand recently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
The new one?
yeah, the new one. Yeah,
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was really good.
I got all the way to Vegas and then stopped. So I think that's episode 5, and then I think there's only like 6 episodes.
Two more or one more or
fairly
whatever
certain.
it goes. Yeah, there's
Again, I get distracted by real life.
It
It's
was
never something interesting. It's always just real life.
It was a short series, but Flag was a great
Yes.
Man in Black.
Yes.
He would translate excellent into the Stephen King cinematic universe.
Yep.
If they ever wanted to make them all
The SCU.
the SCU,
It'll be the
SK,
KCU, I think.
if they wanted to link them all together in some way, I think he would play an absolute brilliant Flag.
And who was the main good guy in Dark Tower? He was a brilliant actor.
Roland. Was played by
Roland.
Idris
It
Elba.
was Idris
Yeah, it
Elba.
was.
Yeah.
I
So
couldn't
he
think of his name. He's a fucking brilliant actor.
Yeah, so I think if they were going to do the Flag and even Matthew McConaughey played Flag in Dark Tower.
Yeah.
If they did it again, I reckon you'd chuck Carl Urban in as Roland for sure.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
Roland was. Don't get me wrong, Idris Elba. I think he was absolutely great, and him and Matthew McConaughey saved that. Well, what they could do to save that movie.
Yeah.
Having those two go work off each other was great. The paths that they decided to go with
It just
the
felt
acts of those
rushed and
movies.
I think
by the end of it was.
if you're going to tackle such a big block of books, you can't do it in one film. Yeah. They should have bitten it off as a trilogy, and yes, it wouldn't have aligned 100% to the books. So you'd need a
this was meant to be
3-act story that made
after the
sense. Yeah.
This was a continuation
Another cycle.
after the books, another cycle.
Why?
Yeah.
Why fuck with something that was already great? Just tell the fucking story the way you did The Stand.
That first book would be pretty hard to do as a film. I
Yes.
reckon it's a slow walk through the desert.
It's a hard burn.
Roland went in. Was this tagline? Roland walked into the desert and the man in black followed.
Yeah.
I think that's the that's the
cycle.
that whole premise of the first book, and it's just like that is.
And there's a lot of self-reflection of Roland, and a lot of it's going on in his head in terms of an authorial voice. So, and kind of telling the backstory while he's wandering the desert. But I'm not suggesting replicate the books into a movie. I'm suggesting pick the.
You don't want to do a Watchmen with it.
No. Just pick the core thread. Find a solid 3-act story to tell that ends in a climax and an anti-climax. Close it down. Do a trilogy like that.
Series. Just that.
Is it
Dark Tower needs to be a series.
Good old Ronald Howard was meant to be doing it as the series many years ago.
We need to hit the next beer, please.
Yes, of course.
And-
Right away.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if Idris Elba wanted another bite of the apple, I mean, chuck him back in it. I mean, I think he'd be excellent to see him as Roland in a good series, or a good movie.
Yeah.
That actually fleshed his character out a little bit more and gave him
bit more depth.
Roland in the book has so many great speeches, especially when he gets the quartet, the three of them together, and starts teaching them the gunslinger ways.
Yeah.
He has so many great stories and just monologues to talk
perfect.
about.
Idris is perfect for that kind of grizzled veteran passing on the knowledge.
Yeah, and he's so good at delivering, taking hold of a scene and delivering something through to a group of people. Like he commands that as
he has presence.
Yeah, you look at his corny speech in Pacific Rim, and fuck yeah, I'd follow him into battle.
100%.
Yeah.
So the second beer we've just cracked is from Bad Shepherd down in Vic. They have done the Haze of Revan, the Black Neeper. This is by Steve, the Venue Vanguard. It's part of their Brew Crew series. The latest addition to our Brew Crew series is the vision of our Venue Vanguard / manager, Steve. Steve joined the force in 2019 and commands our legions from behind our bar. A love of good versus evil and classic 80s pop culture has derived this black New England IPA. Dark as Darth's heart, with the soft bitterness of a Hothian summer, and as murky as Ray's past, the use of Amarillo, Simcoe, Chinook, Citra, and Mosaic hops turn this Black Neeper into a rebellion-worthy drop. Punchy, vibrant, and a true feast for the senses only a Jedi Master could resist.
And then it's called Revan.
And it's called Revan, yeah.
Brilliant.
There's a lot of conflicting shit in there. Someone just felt like they wanted to grab something from every era of Star Wars and throw it in there rather than sticking to a theme. Really good beer.
6.2%.
It's really good. I mean, look, it's a Neeper.
Yeah.
But with dark malt.
It's the first black Neeper that I've liked.
It's the first black Neeper I think I've tried.
Yeah, most of them get the balance wrong. They get the dark malt too dominant, too chocolatey dominant.
Yeah. No,
I'm struggling to taste the dark malt, to be honest.
I definitely am. But it's a good balance. They might have cheated like I did once and just put
squid ink?
Malt. No, Carafa malt extract in there.
Right. Well, all I can tell you is if I was blindfolded trying this, I would just call it a Neeper. So it might just be my palate isn't subtly developed enough, but...
Oh, no, 100%. I'd probably be the same.
Yeah,
it's got that
definitely would.
pure Neeper taste.
Then why
maybe
bother?
there's a tiny bit on the back palate there. A little bit of sort of chocolate malt there, but...
the problem with a solid...
Oh, it's definitely the guy who's in the manager, Steven. He's just been like, fuck yeah, Black Neeper, do it.
Yeah.
And that's all he said to him. And he's also been like, oh, and make it Star Wars themed.
I just don't understand the point then. If you can't taste the difference, why not just make a Neeper? Genuine question.
I guarantee
because the beer's brilliant, but
that could hit other people differently than it's hitting us.
Sure.
You might get someone out there who's just like, I get heaps of the...
The problem with the problem with the Neeper style as a black is, in my uninformed opinion, is that you get so much burn from a good hop hit in a Neeper that it's going to wipe out the back palate that you'd expect out of a darker beer. And
they're on.
So it is quite spicy. It's got that real hit to it.
There's Chinook in it, which is quite a spicy sort of hop. But the
spicy meatball.
It's a spicy meatball. Borderline walking trademark there as well.
Trademark with whom?
Really nicely lined up.
I was waiting for. I saw as you turned that.
Yeah, you're like an absolute bee's dick out of alignment. Yeah, that's tiny. That's excellent. Good work on that. It's perfectly spaced from the bottom to the top of the can as well. Yeah, good job.
Coming up on Dan's label critique.
Somebody was paying attention to the label of that day. Good job. It's nice. I'd definitely drink it again. But yeah, I'd definitely agree.
Yeah, I got 2 cans of it for a reason.
Yeah.
And the can art is sick.
The dark malt's lost a little bit. So.
The can art is sick. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I mean it's good use of colours and
text and fonts,
and perfect as a black can too. Have you seen Mortal Kombat, Dan?
No, but
I feel really
spoil
guilty.
away.
I feel really guilty because I did say to Dan we should go and see it at the cinemas because I know Lou's not all that interested
No,
in
because
it.
it's on PlayStation now. So
Yeah, and
no, I told you she agreed to watch it. Oh, I didn't. No, I probably didn't.
Okay.
She agreed to watch it as long as I could guarantee her that. Yeah, I think I did. I spoke about it because Tom said yes. Guaranteed her that the Aussie guy who plays Kano was in it a lot, and I said yes. He's one of the main characters.
yeah. So I mean, I had every intention of seeing it at the cinemas. I think it would have been
wins. So good.
Yeah, I had every intention of seeing it at the cinemas because it would have been a great movie to see on the big screen. But we were browsing the internets on the TV the other day, and it's like, how the fuck is this already out on iTunes? It was iTunes. I bought it on Apple TV. Fuck it, let's just watch it. Hey, hun, do you want to watch something that's ultra violent and really not up your alley at all? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they're doing it a lot with streaming stuff. It'll go to cinemas, and then 2 weeks later, it'll be out.
It's
pay
still
for it on
at
streaming.
the fucking cinemas. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and then they'll just run
No,
it.
that's the way they're going.
It's
Got to be
100%
destroying the cinema industry.
Well, it
gotta
is,
be.
but I mean, also people not going is destroying the movie industry.
True,
So,
and probably piracy was already on its way. So I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
look, a lot of the shorter release time has been driven by piracy because it's like, well, if
You've got that.
because in the old days it was 6 months from cinema release to DVD release.
It was 6 months from when
In
you got
Australia.
a shaky camcorder copy to when you got a
No, parking the piracy industry for a second, it was typically 6 months from cinema release to DVD release. And then
Yes.
they've started bringing it forward because I know if they've got to wait 6 months to see it again or at all, they're just going to pirate it. And now we're at 2 weeks. Like, that's mental. Anyway.
I think it's obviously
yeah, but it's 2 weeks at full price. Like even if you rent it, you're paying $30 to rent it.
Yeah, I did see that. It was like it was $35 to buy it or $29.99 to rent it.
exactly.
So I just bought it because, like, why the fuck would you ever not pay the extra $5 to be able to see it as often as you want?
I don't because I just won't. Because it'll turn on a streaming something, and I just don't want it sitting in
Yeah.
my library.
Yeah, fair.
I mean-
although that's PlayStation library, right? Once you buy it on iTunes, you don't have to have it downloaded. It's in your library for life anyway.
Yeah, I don't think you need to on the PlayStation either.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
Mortal
Look into
Kombat. That film's definitely one of those ones that I'd be like,
You probably watch it 3 or 4 times ever.
yeah, but I'd come home like steaming drunk and be like, I'm fucking watching Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It is one of those kinds of movies. I need a pizza.
And
and
I'm
8 beers.
cracking something large from the bottom shelf of the fridge. This is going to be a good time.
Yeah, but
I-
even the bad, crappy original one was always a background movie.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
chuck
true.
chuck the DVD. Chuck probably wasn't even DVD in those days. It was probably VHS. Yeah,
And that's when you get in there and you're like, oh, fuck, I didn't rewind it.
yeah. You're asleep before it hits the end. Of
I
it.
used to hate that as part of my job in the video store as the speed
Rewinding.
rewinder. And it was
Yeah.
like, it's okay if there's 1 or 2, but to do 50 in a
Yeah.
fucking row because people are lazy. The movie was surprisingly good for me. I had very low expectations. I think they did a...
Well, this is the issue that Emma and I had a big debate on because she was talking about. She's like, "Why would you go watch a film like that?" And I was like, "Because I'm going in to see someone rip someone's heart out of their chest. That is the entire reason I'm going there." And she's like, "Oh, but like, don't you want to see any character development?" I was like, "Not in this film. You go
No,
there
It's
like
not what it's for.
it's
yeah.
not what it's for. It's literally just being like, I could never do that." And there's some weird part of me that's deep down that goes, "That's fun. I like that."
Look, the only thing that I was a little disappointed about is I went in hoping it was going to be like The Quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
The quest.
I know it, and I'm trying to run it through my head, but I can't.
It was a movie based on, you got the Sacred Scroll? Yeah. Sacred Scroll was an invitation to a to the death tournament of martial arts.
Right.
And they handed one to a boxer who was an
Yeah.
English guy. They handed one to Jean-Claude Van Damme as I don't know what fucking style that is anymore. I did at one stage, remember. But anyway, they gave one to a master Shaolin monk, Chinese, kung fu. They had a sumo. And then they basically get in a ring in this Shaolin temple in the middle of the fucking mountains and battle it out to the death.
Oh, so you wanted to be all those guys coming?
Yeah,
Like,
and
not
see
this
the
weird
different
team-up
styles.
thing.
I mean, that's what makes Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2 interesting. Is
Oh, okay. So it's not even like the original Mortal Kombat where they go to the Netherrealm and do the
No, it's
do
all
the
about
battle, do the-
gold armor dude's destiny as being a descendant of Scorpion. And
And look, it was cool. I was thoroughly impressed. I went in with low expectations and I walked out of my lounge room, mind you, thinking, okay, that was far better than I had hoped. And I will watch it again, probably in a couple of weeks' time, because it's good enough to.
Oh, and the graphics are fantastic.
And the callbacks to the game were superb. They were spot on.
That was my favorite part of the whole film.
It wasn't too much, and it wasn't out of character.
It was very good. Yeah.
So it never felt forced. It never felt overbalanced. But it was enough to make a guy who played the game smile.
Yeah.
There was no toasty, but the fatality and the fucking... There was did they call it a bestiality? I'm sure that because in one of the sequels to the original MK game, you could turn into a beast of some description depending on your character, and then do the fatality.
Didn't that happen with Liu Kang when he turned?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure in the movie though. You hear that happen.
Yeah.
He says that over the thing when he
doesn't say bestiality. I can tell you that.
Mortal Kombat 3 introduced bestiality.
Yeah. That's
just
obviously
introduce it to the general world. Here you go, guys. That's why you're playing a game.
Obviously, that's not a word you probably want to drop in the middle of a movie. But
and I didn't want it in my Google search, so I made sure I put Mortal Kombat there as well.
Yeah, that's a fair call.
Yeah, and you don't want to be caught then just doing I'm just looking up bestiality. Why are you in incognito mode, Dan? That's disturbing.
There's the bottom one on this is on the Google search is bestiality. That's the new Mortal Kombat finisher, ? Sexually obvious.
Okay.
I don't want to know what that article's about.
No, I don't want to click on that one.
Don't click that. Don't click that.
No, I'm actually going to delete that screen.
Very good.
No, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was enough difference in the characters. Having Raiden as a god who presides over things rather than just as another character in the thing was cool. There was a little bit of character development of the main character of Golden Armor Boy. I just found him vacuous and annoying.
Again, he is in a movie about ripping someone's heart out of their chest.
I get it, but
he can be as vacuous as he wants as long as he decapitates some fucker.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, granted, I'll give you that.
I like the guy who plays Scorpion.
The least... Yeah.
He needs to be in
Ghost of
Tsushima. He needs to be the uncle.
Yeah, definitely.
I just found the least likable character in the entire movie was the main character.
I got that too.
I probably should have checked whether he was Japanese before I suggested he played a Japanese man in a movie.
He is.
He is good.
Yeah,
okay.
Because in the start of it, he speaks Japanese and Scorpion speaks Chinese.
Sub-Zero speaks
Sub-Zero.
Chinese.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And my tie-in to the theme for tonight was probably a spoiler.
Oh, I don't care.
Just the fact that
away.
Scorpion dies in the first 7 minutes of the movie and then comes back at the last 7 minutes of the movie from hell. And that was really well done too.
Yeah. I think that's still the best moment in that is the hat kill. That's all I'm going to say, the hat kill.
I've seen... It was in one of the trailers or something. I've seen the start of it. The hat goes down and he rides her in from the camera's at this angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the fucking mouth that's supposed to open up like...
No, she's the flying one.
Yeah.
The flying Batwoman. There
was the other character. I'm shit with character names.
So all the ones that die in it, I am going to watch it eventually, but this is obviously just... I don't care about. Were they
Essential?
I'm saying this in quotation marks again, non-player characters in the games?
No.
Oh, okay, they were actual characters at some stage in the games.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're killing off actual name characters.
Oh, yeah, and big ones.
Yes and no. The way they've talked about it is that if I can see it, all right? Okay, I can see the timer.
You just lost another 5 seconds.
Is that, if Scorpion can come back, they just get sent to the hell
dimension.
Dimension and come back.
Yeah. Look, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it.
That's how they justify it.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Because they're still got their little Mortal Kombat symbol.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, then that's how Scorpion got resummoned.
And is the guy that plays Shang Tsung as good as the original guy? Who they then moved into the games?
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff and he's always
Kerry Takawa or something his name.
Yeah.
And while Dan looks that up, we're going to take a quick break.
Perfect. none of the beers are good or actually taste like beer, because that's just what happens when you go to a brewery. They all just taste like brewery beers. I'm sorry. What the actual fuck?
And we're back talking about some feedback that Batches received.
Idiots. People are idiots.
Yes.
Go to a craft brewery and then complain about them only serving craft beer?
No. Just their beer tastes too beery.
Well, go
Drink a fucking seltzer, you muppet, and fuck off.
I was only telling one of my
Yeah, that's right, seltzer companies. Fuck you.
Hey, I'm Max Seltzer.
Well, fuck you.
Fair enough. We had a customer come through
okay.
many years ago, and the email got passed on to me for me to answer because he had a bad time there. He had a bad time in the bistro for dinner, so he just decided to take it out on the whole place. And then he was talking about the fake brewery and why do you advertise beers that you don't even make and this and that. And so that's why they passed it on to me. So at that stage, we were exporting to 10 countries around the world and doing a whole bunch of stuff there.
With your fake beer.
With our fake beer in our fake brewery. So I threw all these stats at him, and he came back about 10 minutes later, like enormously apologetic. And
at least he fessed up to being a tosser.
Oh, yeah, and he said he didn't even see it. And I'm like, okay, rightio. Well, it's here.
You didn't see the brewery?
Yeah, at the brewery.
The humongous kettles and
Yeah. Didn't see it, but didn't come out to that area, so didn't see it. Didn't see through the glass window that's right next to the entry door on your way
That's
in.
like
Just
walking past your mate and saying, you're not really a dude because I've never seen your dick. Like, what a stupid fucking assumption.
It's a good analogy.
It's often what I say to my mates. Hello, I have not seen your penis. I guess you're not a dude.
So I went back slightly less aggressive than I did with the first one, and then he replied again and offered his services as a plumber or an electrician or something. He goes, I'll give you a really good rate. I'm so sorry.
Offer services as a brewer? That would have been the best part. I'll teach you how to make real beers, boy.
I've got my Cooper's fucking pale ale in the back.
So yeah, he did admit he was wrong.
Okay.
He did admit he was wrong.
That's a fair cop then.
That's a win in itself.
Yeah,
That is a win in
exactly.
itself.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't have many more topics on the theme of monster and horror and stuff other than I got to watch 28 weeks, 28 months later, 28 weeks later.
28 weeks.
It was days first, was it? It was days.
It was
Days
first.
first,
And
yes.
and because the missus had never seen it. So it's always better watching a movie that you remember as being good when you're also with somebody who's seeing it for the very first time, because you kind of get to experience that nostalgic sense that you've never seen it before. But it made me realize just how shit that sequel was.
I really like it.
I think I only saw Days. I don't think I saw anything else.
I remembered really liking it, and then I rewatched it.
So?
Like a shot's worth, it is 10.
Oh, yeah. Just a small amount. Yeah.
I remembered it being really good, and then I rewatched it, and it was really bad.
Okay. The opening sequence is excellent, though.
Opening sequence?
Where
Yes,
he's,
yeah,
where
the
he's
chase-
running
yeah.
away from the cabin.
Yep.
And there's no
It was the Snyder
there's no dialogue for
getting to you.
Yeah, like the last pour.
All right, Chris.
Thank you.
It's my beer. I'm saving this one.
So this beer has been sitting on the bench since the boys got here to let it warm up
It's an imp stout. Needs a bit of warmth.
so it gets bigger.
This was packaged back in July as well. It's been refrigerated ever since.
dark
So this
beer.
is from Deeds Brewing, which most people know these days for their hazies, don't they, little podcast cat? But this is the Dark Deeds series that they do for all their dark beers. So I've got a keg of their Lamington Brown Ale in the cellar at the moment. But this is the second Horseman. This is their Imperial Stout.
Who was the second Horseman?
This is
Pestilence?
the Red Horse. So I think this is meant
Thank
to be
you
war.
for-
War.
This is meant to be war.
Yeah.
I love the concept of the Four Horsemen. I've always loved it. And
As in originally introduced in the Bible? Is that what you mean?
it was my favorite chapter because I read the Bible cover to cover. Never. But no, like the end of days, that's always the fun one. No, but like, so I absolutely adore the Darksiders series.
Yeah.
And
It did. Speaking of, let's go back to that after, so we don't annoy Pete with interrupting the introduction of the beer.
Well, I've done the beer. I've done the beer now, but this is what I'm leading into. This is Dark Deeds, Second Horseman, Imperial Stout, ABV 10%. Dark and thick, our 2020 Imperial Stout is reminiscent of old-timey chocolate milk, where they used to melt bars down and add cream. Built upon this sweet base are layers of light chocolate, coffee, and some booze. The second beer to be released upon the world in our Imperial Stout Dark Deeds series is a nod to the rider on the red horse, the second of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. All hail the Imperial Stout.
I'm glad we let it warm up.
Yeah.
I don't generally like solid dark beers.
It's excellent.
But this is, and in fact, the last 3 or 4 darks we've had haven't really been the type of dark I don't like. The Guinnessy.
I'm trying to think what's the first one they did. I'll look it up.
But no, this is excellent. You get a little bit of the sweetness out of the chocolate.
There's quite a bit of sweetness there,
but not too much. It's not overpowering.
It's all very, very well balanced.
You get a lot of the coffee notes that you'd expect out of a stout.
So the first one they did, the first beer release from our Dark Deeds series is a hat tip to the White Rider, the first of the 4 horsemen, which I'm assuming is Death.
Oh yeah, must be.
I thought he was the Black Rider.
No, death on a white horse.
Yeah. Symbolizing a conquest of dark over light, dark and thick, our 2019 Imperial Stout is reminiscent of old-timey chocolate milk. Same thing. Which means, delightfully, that the third horseman should be arriving soon. But yeah, so always loved the idea of the 4 horsemen. I thought that was a really cool
Fourth and final horseman was Death.
Well,
the way they've done it. And death on a white horse?
What are the names? Hang on. War, famine, pestilence, and death.
Yeah.
However, the Bible only names one, death. Cool. Because we all
source
take our...
Source material always needs to be built upon.
There's the white... Yeah. Death on a white horse, because war on a red horse, death on a white horse, pestilence on a brown horse, and famine on a grey horse?
I don't know.
Oh, that's the way
First,
it goes.
a white horse.
Oh, there you go. It is death.
Second, a red horse.
Mm-hmm.
Third, a black horse.
Yeah.
Fourth, a pale horse.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, pale.
Pale.
White.
Pale rider.
Yeah.
There you go. Completely wrong.
Yes, but I the Darksiders series, which kind of took it and then just took their own spin on it in a fantastic way. That art style is...
Yeah.
It's the perfect art style for the time that the first Darksiders came out. It's the giant fucking boots.
Yeah.
And stocky as fuck. It's Gears of War. Like, they all came out at the same time.
Yeah, but if you actually took the armor off the man, he's not in proportion. He'd have a little teeny tiny head.
Oh, smallest head. But tell you what,
humongous body.
that man knows how to wash his hair. That was silky fucking white hair.
But how many games are like that? I mean,
No. I'm just...
the entire anime fucking or Gundam series with it. Or there's so many.
I actually meant to send you something yesterday, Pete. I saw it was a little, just some comic thing I saw on Instagram, like concept art, but it was Punisher in Warhammer 40k gear.
I could see him as a Terminator. He'd totally be in Terminator armor.
I'll find it and send it to
Please do.
you. But yeah, so like that whole concept of the 4 horsemen and then bring it into beer, I think is just a great idea.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Very cool.
On the Darksiders side, I think the voice acting that they picked for all the horsemen was excellent. Bang on. I think it was really good.
I still need to play the last one. Genesis. I still haven't played that one.
Is Genesis...
That's the top down.
That's the top down. So they're doing one with Strife as well.
That was Strife. It was Strife and War.
That's the top down. The top down one's separately though, isn't it? I thought Strife...
It's Strife.
I thought Strife had his own third-person one coming as well.
Well, that's the first game he's in. So Strife first appears as a character in Darksiders 3, where he's disguised as a human, and then at the very end he appears. Spoiler, the game's been out for a while. But he appears and then takes on all the demons as Fury lets the humans escape.
Okay.
And the humans are staying with the Scottish mountain troll that you meet in Darksiders 2.
All of this conversation, and I don't know why, and you can go back to Darksiders in a minute, but just reminds me of Diablo. I have no idea why. But Diablo 4's trailer came out about 9 months ago, and
that was fucking sick.
I'm still waiting for the game because it was fucking sick.
Aren't they about to? They're about to re-release Diablo 2, aren't they?
Yeah.
and it looks really fucking good.
Well, that was, yeah. I mean, Diablo 3 didn't, I mean, we played that online for a while. I think it was Chris, Dan, and I.
Yeah, I played it with my housemate Pat at the time we were living.
And it was fun for a while, but it got really old really quickly.
Diablo 2, though.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was a good game.
Yes, it was. And the original. The original was fucking brilliant. Back on CD-ROM for PC only. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm sure I saw something the other day about.
I would love a third-person
We've
strike
lost
game.
Dan.
Yeah.
He's buried in the internets.
That's
no,
fine.
and you know what? I love the idea of Diablo. It does. The actual gameplay of the game does not catch me at all.
Sorry, Kat.
The new game was very different to the old games, though. The old game played like a Baldur's Gate, and it was released around the same time, perhaps.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well, I think just in the last one, like I remember playing Diablo 3 when Pat wasn't home and I could do so much of it myself. Whereas Diablo 2, there was so many times I'd go into a dungeon, I'd be like, no, I need the 4 other guys here to back me up. Like I can't do it. You needed people on Battle.net.
Yeah, you did. But Diablo 3, I think while we were playing, or just as we were finishing, kind of organising time to play, because we never finished the game together. I went and played it single player, hit level cap, and then you just get on the fucking treadmill. And it's a typical Blizzard game once you hit level cap. It's just, you're going to go back and get another prestige level, and then you're going to get another prestige level, and another one. And, you know, people walking around with 1,000 prestige levels. It's like,
Yeah, what's the point?
guys, there's so many other games out there. Go and play them.
No, doesn't interest me. But I think the Darksiders Genesis is a twin stick shooter, isn't it?
Twin stick shooter, yeah, top down. So it's gone from third person hack and slash, like God of War, and then it went to more RPG pace with death.
2, yeah.
And then it went to a kind of Souls-esque game with 3, where it was all about timing and blocking and dodging. And then, Genesis was twin stick, but you played as Strife and War. Because you could have a team up with a mate. And you could but if you played solo, you called War in and then War decimated. It was
it was like your special power.
It was like a special power if you played by yourself from what I read. But yes, I haven't played that one yet.
The scripting of them was excellent as well. They were. You never played
I've
any
never
of
played
them.
any of them.
They're funny.
So
They're
You're selling them, though.
Yeah, it's because the 4 Horsemen. So the basis of it is
You can buy the three pack
Check.
on PlayStation Store.
Okay.
And days of play sales coming up in like a week.
You know what? Basically, until I saw that Wrath of the Druids was out for AC Valhalla, I hadn't turned my PlayStation on in like 6 weeks.
Yeah, you kept saying that.
Yeah, the basic premises of Darksiders is the 4 Horsemen are bound by the Council, who are this vaguely omnipotent talking stone things.
Right. They're not 4 guys on motorcycles with different coloured outfits.
No.
Huh? The Council?
No, the 4 horsemen. Carry on.
No, the 4 Horsemen are bound by the Council. And then war gets called to Earth, which unleashes the apocalypse, but he got called prematurely due to the conspiracy that's happening in the background. And then in 2...
But the 3 games almost run parallel to each other.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Death is then looking into why war was, or where war is, or is that 3? Fuck, I can't remember now.
No, 3 Furies deals with the 7 deadly sins. 2 was Death. He was trying to figure out what had happened so that he could release war.
Yeah.
Fury just kind of goes off on her own thing, but then at the same time, it's all happening as or just after like War's story.
Yep.
And then I don't know what happens. Genesis seems to be set, I'm assuming, before everything.
Yeah, possibly. I haven't looked at
Would
Genesis
make sense
yet.
with the name Genesis.
So they have a soul bound to them by the Council as like a watchman. And I think they're even called Watchers, aren't they?
The Watchers,
The
yeah.
Watchers.
Yeah.
And that's where the banter between the Watcher and the actual player character, whether it be War, Death, or Fury, is where sort of the comical side comes into it.
It'd be like if you were playing, and the Watcher does kind of act as like a guide / Z targeter, a la like Navi from Legend of Zelda. If Navi was giving Zelda like Link shit in Ocarina of Time, that's what you're getting with the Watcher. Yeah.
And then the world is just built really well. It's technological, but not technological. It's like technological fantasy.
Yep.
A little bit like Warhammer stuff.
Yep.
They use big swords, but they have big firearms and cannons, and And I still remember being thrilled when you got your horse in the first one because you could just run along and call the horse.
It was one of the perfect summoning, like if you're thinking like a mystical character who would just run and then his horse would rise out of the ground, like flaming mane, flaming tail, flaming hooves, everything, and then just like you just literally like just kind of like sit up onto it and then you just like go off,
keep going, no, it was an excellent mount call, definitely. So, and
that was you just described my horse in AC Odyssey.
Yeah, I had the fire horse too.
Sorry,
didn't know you could get a fire horse.
You got skins for your horse, and I had a rainbow Pegasus at one point.
I think you had to pay for them though. It was like $5 real life money to buy the tokens.
Why do you?
No. You got it as a. You could
unlock for a trophy or something.
No, I got it for like it was like a free item. Like you got it from a box, but yeah.
I never used the horses in those because you point towards your marker and then you just climb over all the hills to get there.
Oh no! In certainly in Valhalla, the distance you have to cover, and in fact in Odyssey as well.
Odyssey was a massive map.
Yeah, I just went over the top of everything.
The map's too big to not have a horse.
Yeah, but it's like when you had your
used the horse.
When you got to your Skyrim horse and you could just like climb a mountain with it because it went more than your legs could.
Yeah, no,
I
understand what you're saying.
Rodard the horse off the top of the mountain and see you, bud.
I do understand what you're saying though. There are plenty of point to point, travels that it's faster to climb, but there's also lots of times when you really want to be on a horse.
I did see something now that someone was having a rant. I think it was Kotaku was having a big cry because Ubisoft are trying to force people to ride giant cat mounts. And I think one of the mounts you get in the Valhalla DLC is like a battle cat almost.
Okay. And why were Kotaku?
They're just doing one of those like, we're funny articles. I was like, okay. I actually would rather ride a giant cat into battle. That sounds cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of riding giant cats, this fucking new He-Man series better come out soon. Kevin Smith released some still shots of it a couple of weeks ago.
I did see them. Yeah.
Looks good. Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
It's a series or a movie?
Animated series.
Okay.
New Netflix directed and written by Kevin Smith.
Yeah, cool. That'll be awesome.
I have decided to go back and...
They've done the blonde bob again, so... the blonde bob with the purple vest for Adam.
Yep. Awesome.
That's all you want.
Yep.
I've decided to go back and rewatch on the animated thing, all of the Netflix Castlevania.
Yeah, I've only watched season 1. I
watched season 1, but I was doing other stuff. I want to sit down now and watch it.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
It was good in the background, but I want to get more involved in it. I've
never seen any of it. And I've never played the games either. So it's probably why I'm not interested.
I never
in
played
the
games, but I that's a kind of monster kind of hunting thing that I enjoy watching.
I played the more modern games, the God of War-esque ones, and I've played some of the old ones too. But I think the Castlevania storyline is so convoluted. I don't know if I think it was originally Nintendo. Okay. There might have been coin-op ones at one stage, but I'm pretty sure it was a Nintendo.
That was
Nintendo property, yeah. Okay, and that's where it came. And I played plenty of those. Yeah. I have no memory of any of the storyline whatsoever. Yeah, it's so convoluted. It's not funny. But the new ones were good. I really enjoyed the new ones.
Lord of Shadows ones.
Yeah, the Lord of Shadows
PS3 ones.
Yeah.
PS3 ones.
Yeah, I thought they were really good. And Carlisle, whatever his name is, the English actor.
He was in. I know the guy you're talking about
from the Full Monty. Robert Carlyle. Is that his name?
Yep. And he was a Bond villain.
Yes,
in a Pierce Brosnan one. Yeah. In the Nuke.
Yep.
World is not enough.
He
had that on 64.
He voice acted it, and it was just a perfect fit. And then Patrick Stewart was one of the other voice actors in there. He might have been the mentor or the narrator or something.
Robert Carlyle was also in 28 Weeks Later.
Yes, that's him.
Main character.
Yep.
And Rumpelstiltskin in that really, really terrible Ever After series? No, it wasn't Ever After.
I remember seeing the picture of him.
It was a fairy tale TV series. It was like a rom-com drama.
Weird, CW series.
Yeah. Spot on.
No,
anyway,
never watched it.
Good actor though.
Have you
Very good actor. Yeah. And he made that series.
I imagine he would.
Really shitty one. Yeah. Anyway,
you guys haven't started watching that Jupiter's Legacy that Ben and I were talking about?
I am so not watching any superhero shit for the time being.
This is
I'm with you.
This is a nice mix of.
I watched the
I'm up to
short.
I've got the last episode to go of the first season. I will say, like, the whole, like, set in, like, the start of the Depression. So it's set in either start of Depression or modern day, and they switch between the two. And they do.
I've heard that, yeah.
And the really nice way they do that is in the modern day, it is
in color, and the old one's in black and white.
No, it's all in color. No, it's the screen resolution.
Oh, really?
So it's 4.3 with the 2 black bars when it's modern day, but it goes to and it actually transitions to full screen when it goes back to the 1930 story.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like 16.9. Yeah,
It's a nice way to just hang a hat on it. But
yeah.
I can't do another alternate superhero series. I just can't.
I'm sure they're good. And this is why I'm not getting into even the Marvel stuff. I will get to it. And I do want to watch it. And I do want to watch Jupiter's Legacy. And I still haven't watched Umbrella Academy.
I watched the first season of that, and I don't think I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one didn't tickle my pickle.
Yeah, I watched the first 2. And
I thoroughly enjoyed the first season, but the second season I think I got halfway through and abandoned it.
Nah, I struggled to get through the first season of that one. I don't know. Maybe it was the actors. I didn't like the actors.
And
Genuine question, and it might be controversial, so shut me down if it is, but Ellen Page has transitioned to Elliot Page, but is playing a female character in that series. Will he continue to play a female character in that series?
They'll change. They'll transition that character probably.
I think it'd be up to Elliot.
It would be one of the first TV series where there is a transition. I would think.
Probably
I don't know if they're doing. Are they doing a season 3? Because that was all.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't see the end of season 2. So
I think they are.
Yeah, because I know that season 1, season 2 were all done before she announced her transition.
Yeah,
and now to being Elliot. Yeah.
We'll see how they handle it. They'll handle it in some way.
It'd be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
I will. When it was
if
Ellen
you press
Page,
buttons, I will kill you.
Yeah.
I need a new pair of fucking slippers.
loafers.
Yeah. Got about 7 minutes.
See these gophers, former loafers. Was that or kill my chauffeurs?
What the fuck?
Mr. Burns, see my vest? No?
Have you got any other topics, Dan, who came up with this magical theme? And at the end of this, when we finish recording, the Blood Moon should be out.
Oh, it will be, yeah. Oh, well, it's kind of on the...
Do you have the goat to sacrifice?
It's kind of on the...
I've got a cat.
The same...
If it presses buttons.
the same topic and goes on from why we're not watching sort of all these superhero Marvel series and everything at the moment. Well, we just finished watching the one that I was talking about the other week, Raised by Wolves.
Yeah, I really want to start
the
seeing
weird,
that.
the weird sci-fi one, and it just got fucking weirder. But it was really good. It did. The last episode absolutely went balls to the wall with fucking weirdness. But it was good. And I don't think they'll get a second season, but where they were going with the second season would have been incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
So I hope they do.
Why don't you think they're getting a second season?
I think it was way too weird to have had a lot of viewership.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think people would have probably watched the first episode.
Like kind of burnout, kind of like...
I just don't think it's too many people's jam. I just think they would have just watched it and gone, what the hell is this? And not even given it a chance to develop. And then maybe even by the last episode, if they'd made it that far, they would have gone, nah, this is just too much.
Yeah, right.
Just quickly, Archive was the name of the film that I was talking about.
I saw that, yep. So I wanted to finish that Raised by Wolves because I really wanted to watch that. And now we've started Lovecraft Country.
That looks sick. That looks really cool.
It's incredibly interesting. We've only watched the first episode, and because Lovecraft, the whole Lovecraftian thing is, I love the whole Cthulhu mythology and everything like that.
Well, I tapped Kaiju's Cthulhu on the Moon Black IPA today.
Yep.
I looked at the tab list and I went, you know what? Blood Moon.
Yep.
We'll put it on.
Nice.
Put on Cthulhu.
Good job. And Lovecraft was an incredible racist. Like he wrote some incredibly, incredibly racist shit. And they absolutely 110% address this. So in this world, Lovecraft exists. So Lovecraft, the writer, exists, and all of his books exist, and all of his racist
Bullshit.
Tirades.
stuff tirades all
Yep.
exist within the world. So it's based around African American characters in America in the I don't know which war he got back from. I don't want to mistalk. So the main character just got back from the war, whichever one. I think it was probably the Korean War.
Okay.
I think I'll double check that by the time we've watched a few
So
more
set
episodes.
in the 60s?
Yeah, roughly around then.
60s?
You talk,
70s?
I'll look
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and they absolutely 110% lean into the absolute, and I don't know how much of this is true, but the absolute racism of the time.
1950s.
There you go.
Oh, 50s. So it was before Vietnam.
That's why I said Korean War.
Yeah, that's what I said, Korean War. Yeah, yeah. And this whole episode, the whole first episode really sets up the world for the racism of the time and of Lovecraftian writing.
Yep.
Or some of his writing. I shouldn't say all of his writing. Some of his writing. And then leans super heavy into the monsters of the world. So basically Lovecraft is writing about stuff that really exists.
Right.
And people don't think it exists because it's just fictional books.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And so it kind of like the racism that he writes about actually really exists as well
Yeah, right.
in the world,
okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he writes
Yep.
the
Get what you're saying,
incredibly racist shit, which actually is how a
He's
lot
playing
of
it out.
it's actually playing out in the world, as well as the monsters that he's writing about all are playing out, and not in this allegory stuff where it's racism is a
The
monster
monster,
in
yeah,
itself.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. They're actually
There's literal squid monsters
There's-
and there's literal racism.
that's exactly
Yeah,
it.
okay.
And they address it all fantastically well.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely fantastically well. It's acted really well. It's written really well. It's filmed a little. It feels a little like they've filmed it a little too high res, like the weird Hobbit high res stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It suffers a little bit
We
from
filmed
that.
it in 16K and downsampled to 4, and now it looks like fucking shite.
Yeah, so it caught me off guard, but once I rolled in about half an episode, that sort of went away. But
We do the same thing with the podcast, just quietly.
yeah, fair enough.
Oversampling for the loss.
So it's good. It's definitely worth a watch. I mean, I only watched the first episode, but it seems pretty damn interesting so
Yeah,
far,
cool.
and I'm really, really keen to get into more of it. And we only watched that 2 nights ago, so we'll pump through some more of it before next time rolls around. So
It's almost good that Marvel's and DC have kind of taken a break due to COVID, because it's allowed all of this other IP to kind of start filling the void. It has taken a long time for it to do that, though. Like, we did have a long period of time where there was just nothing really coming out, but it's good to see some alternate
Yeah, it's good.
storylines and
I want to
IP.
get like I would love some more like fantasy-esque things. I want to start that. what is
There's
it?
no real- there's not
Shadow,
enough-
Shadow and Bone. I think it is the Netflix series.
yeah,
that
that
looks
looks interesting.
that looks interesting. The one I'm most excited for.
Writing all this shit down.
The one I'm most excited for, because I don't know if you ever read those books, is that Netflix announced they're doing a Redwall series.
No, don't even know what that is.
Redwall.
Redwall was this series of books set in like medieval England, but it was all the characters were based on woodland creatures. So like it was mice with swords.
Oh, okay.
And then the badgers had like battle axes and big battle armor.
Okay.
Okay.
I used to read these, but I fucking loved them. They were so cool.
We're going to end the podcast on this topic, just saying.
Yeah, that's fine. But
Redwall.
Redwall.
So
Okay.
animated or CGI?
I don't know. Don't know.
If they can do the whole Lion King movie in CGI, and
I
it
imagine
looks
they'd probably
hyper-realistic.
do the CGI. But yeah, so it was like all the little animals, like the otters and stoats were all like pirate kind of characters.
Yeah,
The
nice.
mice were all swordsmen. The badgers were all these like they were the warrior, like the big beefy warriors. And they had all these little kingdoms, and there was it was just like great little English fantasy kind of like
I'd
stuff.
100% watch that.
Watership Down style background.
Kind of, yeah. But it
Yeah,
was just,
cool.
but it, they had tiny little swords or little battle axes, and they all fucking love these books. Yeah.
And on the note of, I think we're going to end on Tom's tiny little sword. So thank you for tuning in.
It'd be nice for someone to end on it.
Check
Oh,
out our
God.
website, and we'll see you next episode.
Thank you and
Bye.
good night.
Bye.
Bye.